Okay, dogs, what we're doing this afternoon. Right, we're going to have a little walk round the, with my two helpers here, we're going to have a little walk round the CX6090, the CX6090. We're going to just do a bit of a winter sort of check round and just see what needs doing on it. Hopefully not a lot. It doesn't do many hours a year, so I don't think there'll be anything too drastic to do. We just wanted to go around and just check belts and bearings, and I'll just give a bit of a show of what I'm doing and what I'm looking for with it. It was AdBlue. The AdBlue's been mapped out, so that's one less thing to be bothered about, because it was an absolute pain, and it doesn't go on the road anyway, so actually, in fact, it's a completely legal thing to do on these machines. So what we're going to do in a minute, we'll start her up, but we'll have a little walk around first. One thing that I know, dog's looking for a mouse, the handbrake doesn't work, hence the fact the block by the back wheel. So I think before we do anything, we'll have a look at where the handbrake comes in, and we'll see where we can adjust that up, so at least we've got a handbrake, at least we can work on the machine safely. Now let me just show you under here. Right, what it looks like we've got here, we have a main caliper, which are the main independent brakes. There's one each side. There's a nice plate above there to stop everything. And then here, this one certainly looks like the handbrake mechanism. It's absolutely covered in dirt and dust. I'm just feeling it a bit today. I've actually done something to my back. I think it was picking a little dog up that actually did it this morning. Yeah, I mean, that might just be full of crap. It looks like there's some adjustment on there. First thing I'm going to do is just get the airline in there, give it a good blowout, put my goggles on, give everything a good blowout around it, and then see what's seized, see what's moving, see what needs adjusting. So that part of there is just all the crap that we've just blown out from underneath that, or on top of that, brake calipers. I mean, certainly want to clean it out, because that is one hell of a fire risk. You've got a good half. I mean, scale them really sharp. There is a wheelbarrow full there, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a clean up, and then we'll investigate and see what we can see wrong with the caliper. Right, so this all seems to release and move okay. Let's see what I can get you to show you, see what that spring arrangement is. Well, the mechanism all seems free enough, the caliper seems free enough, so it doesn't seem like anything's seized up exactly. What I'm not sure about, almost looks like should be a rear, should get shadow out the way so you can see, there you go. Almost looks like there should be a rear pad in there. Now I think it has got a rear pad in there, but it doesn't look like the caliper slides forward. So whether the disc is allowed to move, which I don't think it does, to allow the caliper, perhaps it is. No, I don't think it is. No, it's circular to either side. So I am wondering whether it just actually relies on this front pad here and this little adjuster bolt. So what I'm going to do is just do the simple first. Just try winding that adjuster up and seeing whether that cures it. I mean, a handbrake had run out of travel. You can't pull it any further, so that's obviously the problem. So I shall just adjust that up and take it from there. So after having to play around with this, yeah, I can actually see that it moves back and forth on a couple of dials. There is two pads in there. I thought there must be. And there's a mechanism at the top that joins the two, a manual mechanism. I'm guessing the whole lot is fairly seized up, and I don't think it's been releasing properly. Binding, and it's taken the pad out. We've got to get it out. Now, I was looking at it and it looked like an arse to start off with, because there's the other two discs in front of it, and I thought, if I've got to pull this disc off, then I've got to pull all this drive out to get to it. But they have put a hole there. If you can see it, and there is the dowel through the hole there. So I think what I can do is remove that dowel. The only question is, I've probably got to roll it around to the next dowel, but I am hoping that if I take one out, the whole thing might actually be able to hinge enough to get the pad and everything out of the way and free it up without taking it right out. But we'll take one out and we'll see what happens. So what looked like it wasn't going to be too bad has now just turned into a real git of a job. This Combine has had in the past a mutilator work on it. There's one or two jobs that I've done where bolts have been wrung off. The worst one was on the drum bolts. One of the bolts that holds the main spring-loaded sheaves together. They'd actually what I've done, I've set everything up down there properly, so we got ourselves comfy. We've got our mat down here. What we've got in here, we've got a box of pretty much everything: left-hand drills, thread extractors, etc. What I'm going to try doing is put a left-hand drill, couple of drills there, and most importantly a little heater, because there's nothing worse than working on a cold floor. I mean, I've got the mat on there to give it a bit of insulation, but it just makes the whole job a lot more pleasant. It's only about 2 degrees today, so I don't really want to be grubbing around on this floor in this freezing cold shed. So we got everything we need. First job is to see if we can get a pilot down there on the left-hand drill. So what we've done, we just drilled down, put pilot in there. I've put a thread extractor in there in a vain hope that it's going to move it. Thread extractors, in my book, never ever work, and that's tight. That's not going to move. All that's going to happen, if I keep pulling at that, I know what's going to happen. That thread extractor is going to spring off in that hole, and I'm going to have a hardened piece of material left in the hole. I've got to try and shatter out with a breaking bit, which is going to make the job 10 times worse than it already is. So I think what I'm going to do is take that out now. Take that out, and I'm going to just have to bite the bullet and drill all the way down, and then slowly but surely. I mean, one of the things you have to do with these jobs, just never be in a hurry. Just take your time with them. I'm going to get drill out. I'm going to go as deep as I can. I'm going to get as much of that stud out as I can. Probably keep coming up in the size until we can get it, and then we can probably start to rock it down with the extractor. So I've drilled all the way to the bottom. I felt it bottom out and drop away, so I'm just going to give it. And look at that, it started to move. Just shows perseverance, just spending a little bit more time with the drill. Well worth it, better than ringing that stud extractor, and away it comes. So hopefully that's number 1 out. Question is number 2 going to be in the same peril? So there it is, look, stud extractor still in it. I put the hole all the way through, see a little bit of stud lock around there, so that's probably what's holding it. And just because whoever had been in there hadn't just taken a little bit of care on it, instead they just rounded the head off and created all these problems. The next job is that caliper won't slide up. I've released the pressure off it. I've got to get to the other one, which is approximately here. So I've got to spin this back, which could be quite interesting because this combine hasn't got a handbrake and it's on a sloping floor at the moment. I'm actually wondering if it even might roll backwards a bit. If I put another chock to stop it, about a foot away, and knock the one out that's under there, that might be that might work. Otherwise I've got to try and drive it forward and then hold it, and it won't hold itself. So we'll give that a go and see what we can do. What we've done is we actually put bar onto our main drive shaft, or not a bar onto our main drive shaft, the big Stilsons that are down here. We just put them onto the cross shaft, and it actually rocks. You only have to move that you know, a degree or two, and it makes that disc move a mile. So that was the easiest way to do it. Right, well, this one went. I managed to get this bolt out. It's fairly rounded. I'm not convinced they're not a Torex, but I'm pretty sure they're not. They look like a 7mm cap head. Anyway, we've got a couple of new bolts coming. They're only a couple of quid each, so that's quite cheap. The brake pads, on the other hand, are about 120 quid each. So what we've done, we've got them onto a stock order, which will save me the 20% on there. So this caliper should be, yep, and it is loose. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to wriggle this out, get this out of the way. I'll take the cable off actually first. There's a bolt here where the cable is, so I'm going to take that cable off and the whole lot should wobble out. We've got this apart now. It's not difficult to see what the problem has been. we've got one pad with absolutely nothing on it where it's been rolling on the metal. The other pad is, well, that's had it as well really. It's got about 1 millimetre left on it. You see the adjusters wound right up on that. So we're just going to strip this down, pop this apart. I've put, as I said, I've put the pads onto a stock order, so we can't put that back together at the moment. Putting it back together is going to be child's play compared with getting everything to bits. I'll also make sure, of course, all the mechanisms are free and everything when I do that.